Hello, my name's Steve Burgess, hypnotherapist, past life regression specialist, and founder of Hypno for All. Welcome to the fascinating world of past life regression. What you're about to see is a recording of a live past life regression session, which were recorded in the Abbey Place Clinic in Faversham in Kent in the UK. Now, to give you some background to this, my colleague and friend Phil has a phobia of dark water. And a few months prior to this particular recording, I worked with Phil in regression, and we found that in that session, her subconscious indicated that the roots of this phobia came from 3 past lives. And we went into one of those past lives, and Phil re-experienced the trauma, a very unpleasant trauma, of being a young woman in a previous life who was raped and murdered. Now, the regression model is that all of our issues as human beings come from locked-in feelings and emotions from past traumas. And those past traumas can be in this life, in past lifetimes, or in our ancestors' lives. And the aim of regression is to go back into those traumas, to relive them, in order to release the negative emotions which are locked into those significant emotional events. Negative emotions such as anger or sadness, fear, anxiety, or even guilt. So often in past lifetimes, it's the death in the past life which causes the problem in our present lifetime. And I also estimate that at least 60% of phobias come from past lives. What you'll see in this session is me using a hypnotherapy technique called an idiomotor response. And in this, I asked Phil's subconscious to take control over one of her fingers on her left hand. And the subconscious is then able to use the finger to signal yes or no to my questions. And what this means is that her subconscious then can guide us through the session and is also in control of the whole process. A lot of the work for me is done quietly. I'm not looking for particular information from Phil. We don't need to know the dates, the names, the places. The most important thing for Phil is that she relives the experience, however horrible, in order to release the energies in that past life trauma. Now, I will say that obviously in this session we're discussing themes which are quite unpleasant, rape and murder. So if you feel you may be triggered by that, then it's probably best for you not to watch it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy watching the recording, and you can find the whole world of past life regression just as fascinating as I do. If you'd like to find more information about my work as a regression therapist or my books, please check out the links in the bio below. We've split the recording into 2, so I'll be back in a little while to introduce part 2. Thanks for watching. Hello and welcome to Abbey Place Clinic in Faversham in Kent in the south of England. It's September 2022 and in this film we're going to be recording a live regression session. This follows on from a regression session that Phil and I did a few months ago, working on a phobia that Phil has, a fear of dark, deep water. And in that regression, Phil experienced or relived 2 experiences from the past which were causing the phobia. One was from one of her ancestors' lives, and the other was a very unpleasant and traumatic past life. So we're continuing this process in this session of working on this phobia. So, Phil, can you just give us a brief of the actual past life experience from last time, please?
Well, I saw myself as a 14-year-old girl, and I was wearing a blue dress and petticoats. So it wasn't something of, maybe 60 years ago. It was beyond that. It was quite a while ago. And as I was walking in this field, there was a path and there was a lake and trees. And I was being watched by someone that was looking to harm me. I felt it and I just felt very cold. A chill just went through me, and it felt awful. And then I see myself in the water, but I see blood. I saw blood on my clothing, and it just felt like I was seeing bits and pieces, as though my subconscious was just protecting me from feeling or seeing too much. But I just distinctly remember going so cold, although the room was so warm. It was a very hot day. And then I remember when we had to go back there, you asked me to go back. I felt like I was watching myself, like I'm watching a film. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, as with so much of past life regression, it was the death in the past life which caused the trauma. And of course, the connection between deep water or dark water was that she was killed near a lake, or perhaps drowned or murdered in some other way. So her subconscious has said death and water together are not a good thing. So the subconscious is saying from now on, deep water equals death. And that's what it's been doing in this lifetime. Do you feel, Phil, that since the session, has the intensity of the fear reduced at all as a result of that session?
Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly. I do feel at times when I'm just by myself, I feel I have to go back.
Okay. So there's two things here. One of the elements of regression is that we very often go back through significant emotional events and traumas more than once to fully release the energy of them. We also found at the start of the last session that there were actually 3 past lives which are causing this phobia, and we worked through 1. So that means that there's still going to be some energy in the fear because there are still 2 past lives to be released and neutralized and cleared. So what we'll do tonight or today in this session, we'll begin by checking if the past life from last time has been completely released and cleared. If it hasn't, then we may need to go back into it. If it has, then we can move on to something else. But your subconscious will guide us as to what we need to do. So good, okay. Shall we do some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some trance. So all I'll be doing now is just talking softly to Phil, asking you to, whenever you feel ready, allow your eyelids to close down over your beautiful eyes and just let yourself go inwards into that inner space. And obviously we know it's a slightly artificial situation with cameras on you, etc., and microphones around, but do your best to let that go. And you know how to go into trance, having experienced trance so many times, and as you're also a hypnotherapist, you're very experienced at going into trance. Just take a few moments just to begin to tune out the outside world and to tune into your inner world. You can be aware of background sounds of noises. It's quite natural. You may like to let go of any background sounds and noises. Obviously, you can stay focused on the sound of my voice. Or it may be that whatever you hear helps you to feel more relaxed now. And as we know, one of the most significant elements of trance is so often a feeling of relaxation. So let's just take a few moments just to imagine your body softening and relaxing. Perhaps you can begin by tuning into your breathing. And tuning into the breath is such a good thing to do at the start because it begins to ground you. It also gives your conscious thinking mind something to do. Because obviously what we've done by closing the eyelids down, we've reduced all the visual stimuli to your conscious mind. And now just letting it rest on your breath will give it something to do. And also you begin to move into right brain mode as well, as you know, once your eyelids are closed down, and you begin to relax in this way. And it may be you can imagine a nice wave of relaxation flowing down through your body. Or it may be that you begin to feel a sense of calmness or a sense of ease. And of course, there are so many ways to go into trance. The most usual way is to focus on your body relaxing and on your breathing. But it may be you also enjoy the feeling of just retreating inwards, as though you're just letting go of the outside world and just moving into your inner world. So you can be aware of whatever's going on inside you right now. There can be feelings and sensations in your body. Some parts of your body may feel heavier than others. Some parts may feel lighter. Some parts may feel warmer or cooler. Of course, there'll be thoughts going through your mind. That's quite natural. Although it may be that you begin to feel your conscious thinking mind just begins to slow down a little bit. Almost as if your mind can begin to daydream. Of course, any tension or apprehension that's inside you, that's quite natural as well if that's there. Just do your best to allow your conscious thinking mind to attend fully to any tension or apprehension you may have. Whilst your subconscious mind allows you to feel more and more deeply relaxed now. Of course, there are different depths of trance, light trance, medium trance, deep trance. And as we know, we usually begin in light trance or light relaxation. But invariably, as you can continue to go deeper inside now, you may begin to notice yourself moving into a medium trance or a medium state of relaxation. You may feel your body feels more soft and limp and loose and relaxed. You may feel your breathing perhaps slowing down. You may even feel an energy of trance. Just notice that energy and just allow yourself to go down deeper into that inner space, as though you're tuning out the outside world and tuning into your inner world. And it may not be necessary to go deep into trance in this session. Although if your subconscious takes you deep into trance, then that's okay too. But just experiencing that process of just gently letting go. As you're doing this, we invite your subconscious mind, maybe your higher self, as I often say, to come through into the finger on your left hand. And then your subconscious can guide us through the session. So just tune your mind. If you just float your mind very lightly and gently down into your left hand, Phil. And as you're doing this, just imagine you can feel a sense of spaciness or lightness or floatiness or freedom that just begins to grow and develop in the index finger on your left hand all by itself. And as the finger feels spacier and lighter and freer and floatier, it may begin to feel as though there's an energy of lightness in it, an energy of movement perhaps, as though the finger can even begin to feel very much like a helium-filled balloon, and it's sort of wanting to just float upwards into the air. And when it feels light enough, Phil, when you have that free, very light, spacey energy in the finger, just imagine you let go of the piece of string beneath the balloon. And just let that balloon float up into the air nice and high, so I can quite clearly see it from where I'm sitting. Just let that happen in its own time. One part of your mind can continue tuning into your relaxation. Another part of your mind just tunes into the finger. I just feel it getting lighter and lighter and spacier. And as we invite your subconscious into the session, that all-knowing, all-wise part of you, to remain in control of the finger for the rest of the session, keeping it weightless and free, using the finger to signal yes or no to my questions by floating the finger nice and high to signal yes, or by keeping it resting on the arm of the chair to signal no. So let's thank your subconscious for coming through. Just for the time being, ask your subconscious just to let the finger rest back down again, just anchored back onto the arm of the chair in readiness for my questions. My first question is to get permission for us to work together, Phil. If your subconscious feels it would be okay for us to do some more work to help you to reduce or release this fear of dark and deep water, then will that finger raise nice and high all by itself now? Okay, that's wonderful. Let me thank your subconscious for that response. Just ask the finger to rest back down again. So that's wonderful that we get permission. Now I'm going to ask your subconscious, first of all, about that past life that we explored in our previous session that you were just sharing with me a few minutes ago. That past life as that young woman, maybe 100 or 200 years ago, who was brutally attacked and murdered. And we went through that a couple of times in our last session. If your subconscious feels that as a result of that session and the processing that you've done since the session, if that particular past life is now completely cleared of its negative effects, then will that finger raise nice and high all by itself now? And completely cleared, it means we've released all of the negative energy in it that's been causing the phobia of water, dark water. If it's completely cleared, the finger can raise nice and high, but if it isn't, the finger rests. Okay, let me thank your subconscious for that response. If your subconscious feels the best place for us to begin in this session is to go back again into that past life, then will that finger raise all by itself now? Okay, so let's thank your subconscious for that. And I can see you've already gone back into it, Phil. I can see you're already getting the energy of it coming through. So just let it come through. Just take your mind back into that life. And what I'm going to ask you to do in this session is to experience it as deeply as you can, as though you are that young woman in that place, alone. And I'm going to ask you to share it with me, Phil. So I can see you've got the feelings there. What are you experiencing, Phil? What are you seeing? Whereabouts are you?
He's trying to kiss me.
Again, you might have to speak up, Phil.
He's trying to kiss me.
He's trying to kiss you.
Pushing him away.
You push him away.
He's grabbed my hair.
He grabs your hair. How do you feel, Phil? What's the feeling inside?
I'm fighting.
Yeah, feel the fear. Let your body feel the fear as much as you can, Phil.
Fighting.
Maybe feel a sense of helplessness. Maybe even terror. Just feel it. And get a sense what happens.
It's got a knife.
It's got a knife. Okay. with the knife?
It's threatening me with that.
Say that again, Phil.
It's threatening me with that.
It's threatening you with a knife. Stay with it. Just experience it as though you're back there right now, as though there's no such thing as time.
I feel cold.
You feel cold. What's happening?
I can't say.
Say that again, Phil.
I can't say.
You can't say. Okay, just go with it. Keep moving through it, Phil. Just keep moving through it.
I'm being raped.
You're being raped. Okay. Okay. I know it's horrible, but just do your best to stay with it. Have the courage to stay with it and keep moving through it, Phil.
I'm crying.
You're crying? Yeah.
I'm saying no.
You're alone. I'm guessing you're out of control. You have no control over the situation. Is the knife still around or in his hand? Or?
I don't know. I feel sick.
It's okay. What's happening now?
I feel sick.
Say that again.
I feel sick.
You feel sick. Okay. Yeah. I would guess there's a lot of shock going on in your body. I guess there's a lot of shock going on in your body and nausea as a result of what's happening. Do you get a sense that you know this man? Or is he somebody you're familiar with? Or is it like a random attack?
I know him. Everybody knows him.
You know him.
Everybody knows him.
Everybody knows him. Okay, tell me about that. Stay with it. Just keep moving through it.
I can see his face. It's roughly shaven.
Say that again.
It's roughly shaven.
He's roughly shaven. Okay, just stay with it. Keep moving through it.
I feel sick.
You feel sick, yeah. Is the rape still going on, or has he finished? Still going on, okay. I know it's horrible, Phil. Keep moving through it. Just do your best to stay with it. All the time you're experiencing this, Phil, your body is releasing the trauma. So it's very important to stay with it and to keep releasing the trauma. What happens?
They'll kill you if you find out. They'll kill you if they find out.
Is that what he's saying to you?
No, I'm telling him. They'll kill you.
Okay.
That's my undoing.
What happens?
He gets angry.
He's angry, so he's threatening you not to tell anybody.
It's too late.
What happens? He's thinking what to do. Okay. So that the rape has stopped now. Whereabouts are you?
I'm on the floor.
You're on the floor, on the ground, or? Yeah.
By the lake.
By the lake. Yeah.
By the lake. He's looking at the water. I see the knife in his hand.
You see the knife in his hand, yeah.
It's all in slow motion.
Okay, slow motion in what's happening?
I see the knife in his hand.
He's got the knife in his hand.
I see blood around my neck.
Okay.
As though he slit my throat.
Yeah.
I see the cut. He's looking around. To see if anyone's there.
Say that again, Phil.
He's looking around to see if anyone's around.
Okay.
To see if anyone's there.
I understand, yeah. And what happens?
I'm not dead yet.
You're still on the ground? Yeah. It's okay, go with it. Just go with it.
I'm not dead. He's taking me in the water.
So what's happening, Phil? What's happening now? Has he used the knife? Whereabouts has he cut you or stabbed you?
I feel my throat.
In your throat? Okay. Is it as though he's cut your throat from side to side? Okay.
I'm still alive.
So you won't be dead immediately, you'll be sort of struggling and dying and this is where you can see the blood? Yeah. What's happening now?
He's dragging me into the water.
He drags you to the water. Mm-hmm. How does your body feel, Phil? Right now? Limp, yeah. Is that coldness coming through that came through last time? Just go with it. Just let it happen. Just feel the terror. Feel the helplessness. Are you face down in the water? Has he got hold of you? What's happened?
He's dragging me from my arms, underneath my arms.
Dragging you by the arms. Yeah.
Underneath my arms.
Underneath your arms, okay. Into the water.
I'm a dead weight.
You're a dead weight, yeah. I guess you're unable to move? Or are you struggling, or?
I can see my shoes, they're black.
Mm-hmm. What's happening now? What does he do in the water, Phil? Does he just leave you floating? Does he push you under? Does he try and drown you? What's happening in the water?
He's put his foot.
Putting his foot on you?
On top of me.
On top of you to push you down? Okay. So is he sort of trying to drown you at the same time? Okay. And I'm guessing again you're feeling weaker and limper and probably unable to fight, or you're struggling, or you... Stay with it.
I can see the sky.
Stay with it. We know this is a death experience, Phil, so keep moving through. Some stage you'll move through into the death and move through and leave the body. But just keep moving through. Let it feel the feelings, feel the hurt. It's okay, just go with it. Let it come through. Feel the sadness, feel the terror, feel the unfairness of it, the injustice of it. It's okay, just stay with it. I know it's not nice, but just keep moving through it, Phil. All the time you're experiencing this, your body's releasing it.
It's not fair.
It's not fair, no.
I know him.
You know him. Yeah. It's okay, just let that come.
They know him.
Yeah.
They know what he's all about.
Okay.
They know no one's safe around him.
Okay. So he's a local sort of ne'er-do-well. And does he keep holding you down whilst you drown? Is that what happens? Okay.
My arm's moving. I tried.
Stay with it, keep moving through it. How do you feel now?
I feel at peace.
Feel at peace. Do you get a sense that you've left the body, you've passed through into spirit?
I'm watching him now.
You're watching it. Okay.
I'm watching him.
Watching him. Whereabouts are you? Are you from above or the side, or?
I'm just watching.
You're just watching. Okay. Can you see your body in the water?
No, I can't. No, I can't.
Okay. Just get that sense of peace now, Phil. Just go with that. Just be in spirit. I'm just going to ask your subconscious a couple of questions. So just be in spirit. Feel that sense of calmness and that sense of ease. And I'm going to ask your subconscious, again using that finger, if there's anything else in this particular past life that we need to be aware of, any other events, any other experiences. If there's anything else in this particular past life, then that finger can raise nice and high. Okay, let me thank you, subconscious, for that yes response. Just ask the finger to rest. I'm going to ask if this is another incident or part of the incident, or whether it's something to do with the person, because I'm often finding, but not always, that people who have been around us in past lives are around us in present lifetimes. So I'm just curious to ask also whether the man that killed you in that lifetime, if the soul that was that man in that life has been reborn and has been or is around you in a role of significance in your present lifetime. Now, if your subconscious feels that's the case, then the finger can raise nice and high. But if that isn't the case, then the finger just rests. Okay, that's fine. Let's thank your subconscious for that no response. So let's just go back into that life, Phil. The subconscious said there's something else that we need to explore. And this may be something else that happens at the time of the death in that horrific incident, or it may be something that happens earlier in that life. So let's just go back into it and get a sense of something else that your subconscious wants us to explore. And go with whatever comes, Phil.
I'm in a barn.
You're in a barn. Okay. Are you alone or anyone with you?
I'm watching.
You're watching.
I'm watching him.
You're watching him. Okay. And what's happening? What's he doing?
He's with a woman. He's with a girl. They're messing around in the straw.
So, two things. Is the girl happy to be with him in the barn, in the straw? And does he know you're watching, or?
They can't see me. Or can they? They're in the barn. I'm watching. There's straw.
Mm-hmm. Is he with the girl sexually? Okay.
He's on top.
You get a sense that she's happy to be there with him, or is he raping her as well?
She's laughing.
She's laughing, okay. Whereabouts are you? Are you watching this?
I'm behind the straw, behind the top.
You're behind the straw. Okay.
There. They think they're alone.
Okay.
I'm there watching.
Mm.
He's talking to her.
And what happens?
I think they're talking about me.
Okay.
He's saying to her about me, that he would try with me. She knows.
Mm-hmm.
She knew.
How do you feel when you're hearing this?
I feel shocked.
Huh?
She's my sister.
Okay.
She's my sister.
Okay.
He's talking dirty to her about me. He's talking dirty. He's being rude. He's talking about me.
Uh-huh.
And she's laughing because she doesn't think he's serious.
So there's a sense of betrayal here from your sister to you. Does that feel right? Yeah. As you're exploring that, Phil, let me ask your subconscious again, if the soul that was your sister in that past life has been reborn in a role of significance in your present life and has been or is around you in your present life, then the finger can raise. But if that's not the case, if that soul has not been around you in this life, then the finger just rests. So has the soul that was your sister been reborn around you in this present lifetime? course, the other thing is whether we need to know that anyway, so it's okay. There's a no to that, so it either means that she hasn't been or we don't need to know, so that's okay. Let's thank your subconscious for that. Okay, so what happens next? Let's keep moving through then, Phil. So you've been in the barn, you've heard this, you're watching them. Does it feel like the rape and the murder happens fairly soon after this? Like sort of days, weeks or months, or?
I've seen him watch me.
Okay.
I've seen him watch me.
I understand.
He doesn't know that I know.
So is there a part of you that's always been on edge with him around?
I know what he wants to do.
Yeah. Does anything else happen then before before he rapes and murders you? Is there anything else that happens with him?
We're on a path. I'm on a path.
You're on the path.
I'm on a path.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming.
And he's coming. So let's go through this again.
No.
Does this feel like it's a different incident? Okay, thank you. What happens?
He's talking to me. He thinks there's no one around. He gets interrupted.
He gets interrupted. So does he try and molest you? Is that what happens? Or does he not get that far? No.
He's talking to me.
Okay. But you get a sense of what he's leading up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already know.
But he gets interrupted in what way?
Someone
Comes along.
like a crossroads.
Okay.
It's a dirt path, crossroads.
Okay.
Someone's coming in the other direction.
Yeah.
The other side. And he gets interrupted. And I go off with the other person.
Okay.
He gets left behind.
Okay. Does that feel safe now? Okay, yes.
He looks at me so sharply. He knows I've got away. As if to say, I'll get you next time.
Okay, I understand.
I can see him looking at me.
Yeah.
I can see his eyes. I can see that look in his eyes.
Yeah,
I can see that look in his eyes.
A real bad piece of work, isn't he? So already before the end, before he rapes you and kills you, there's already a tension towards him and around him. Yeah. Let's ask your subconscious if there's anything else in that particular life that we need to be aware of. If there are any other events or experiences in that particular past life that are causing the issue that we're working on here today. And if so, the finger can raise, but if not, it rests. Okay, let me thank your subconscious for that no response. So let's go to that final incident, the final scene again, please, Phil. And let's go back through it as deeply as you can. Now we know what happens, that he stops you on the path, he rapes you, he cuts your throat, he drowns you. Let's go back through that again with as much intensity as you can. This time it may be less intense than before. It may be just as intense. It may be more intense, Phil. Go with it as deeply as you can.